I know you all are very excited about Christmas, and you should be. It's a joyous time of the year. But I want to tell you about why Christmas is so very, very special. See, a long, long, long time ago, in a town very far away, there was a man named Joseph who loved a young lady named Mary, and they were engaged to be married. But before they got married, Mary had been told by God that she would be the mother of a very special baby boy. Then an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, "Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to marry Mary, because this child she is carrying is part of my divine plan. She will give birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus, because he will save his people from sins." Mary was so excited. She just couldn't wait to hold her baby in her arms. She would make clothes for the baby, and Joseph, who was a carpenter, he made the things the baby would need, like a cradle and child-sized furniture. They were so excited as they anxiously awaited the birth of their new son. It seemed that the day just couldn't come soon enough. One day, they received news that the king wanted everybody to be counted. He didn't want to just count all the people in one town or two towns or even three towns. He wanted to count all the people in the entire kingdom. And the king didn't think it would be good enough to simply go from house to house to determine how many people there were. He wanted every person to go back to the town where they were born in order to be officially counted. Mary and Joseph busily packed their clothes and other things that they thought they would need for their long journey. No one had cars or any type of vehicles back in those days, but they did have a donkey to help them carry the load. And sometimes they would walk on the dusty roads, and sometimes Mary would ride on the donkey to rest her sore feet. Day after day and night after night, they just kept moving. When nighttime came, they would try to find a room in an inn, which is like a hotel, so they could get a good night's sleep. But sometimes, since so many people were traveling at the same time, it just wasn't possible to find a room because all of the rooms were taken. It was a very long, very dusty, very tiring trip. Finally, one night, they saw the small lights off in the distance. "We're almost there," Joseph told Mary. Then they started to go slightly faster. "What a beautiful city Bethlehem is from here," Mary said. "I wonder if it is just as beautiful inside." Once inside the gates of the city, Joseph tried to get a room at the inn. Unfortunately, the innkeeper had to turn them down. "I'm sorry," he said, "there just isn't any rooms. But we have been traveling for days and we are so tired. Are you sure there is no place for us to just get some rest?" Joseph asked calmly. It was getting very late and he was getting quite frustrated, but he remained kind and patient. Seeing the problem and seeing that Mary was pregnant, the innkeeper felt compassion. "Well, there are no rooms, but I could offer you the stable." Now, a stable is where the animals sleep, the barn. It's a place the innkeepers would keep their animals when they were traveling. It wasn't a very good place to sleep. There were no beds, and it had a bad smell because of all the different animals. But it was shelter where they could at least lie down for the night. Joseph thanked the innkeeper for his kindness, and they led the donkey to the stable. Mary gathered piles of straw and hay to make a comfortable bed for them. They laid down for the night and were finally able to sleep. But suddenly, Mary woke up. and she turned and woke Joseph up. "What is it?" Joseph asked. "I think the baby is coming tonight," Mary said with excitement. Joseph sat straight up, forgetting how sleepy he was. That night, the special baby that had been promised to them was born. Mary cried for joy and cuddled the baby closely. Joseph took his turn holding the baby. They didn't take a long time to decide what they were going to name the baby because God had already told them the name. Joseph held the baby up and said, "His name will be Jesus." They wrapped him in a soft cloth to keep him warm, and Mary made a bed of straw in the manger, which was usually used for the hay that the cows ate. There were some chief priests and teachers who knew this day would come, the day when this special baby would be born. And because of how special baby Jesus was, and because God had something special for him to do, the priests and the teachers were considered wise men, as they wanted to go and give gifts to this baby, because the Bible says that the baby would be King of Kings and Lord of Lords. When the wise men arrived where the baby Jesus was, they bowed down and worshiped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts. What a wonderful night it was there in the small stable. Baby Jesus, the greatest gift to the world, was born that night. And we celebrate Christmas in memory of the birth of Jesus Christ. And we give gifts to one another out of love for one another, and as a way of reminding us the great gift of Jesus that God gave us. Happy birthday, Jesus, and Merry Christmas to all.